This video was made possible by the EA Creator Network. Hey guys, and welcome! Today I can finally show you some first real gameplay of Battlefield 2042's upcoming Season 6, cause I've been invited by EA to test it a few days earlier and I can't wait to show you what we've played and talk about my impressions. In addition to this video, there will be another streaming event held, similar to the one for Hourglass, on Monday next week, which is October 9. I will play the new season live on stream for about 2 hours, starting at 8 PM CEST, so mark your calendars and be sure to stop by. But now let's have a look at the new map, Redacted. During the capture event, we only got to play the modes Conquest and Team Deathmatch, but in a Q&A session after the event, the devs confirmed that it will also be available for Breakthrough and Rush once the new map went live for all players. In general, Redacted has a completely linear layout, similar to its spiritual predecessors Operation Locker and Metro, and it will only be available with a maximum player count of 64, at least in official playlists. But if you want to, you can create a custom experience in Portal with a count of up to 128 players. Not sure I would recommend to do this though. Its layout is split up into 4 different parts, each with its own unique setting and environment. So at Sector A, you can find the biological disposal, which is kept pretty dark and reminds me of one of the objectives on Operation Locker, but unfortunately I only played half a match from this side, so I didn't see much of this objective. Instead, I spent most of my time in sectors B and C, cause here's where the 2 test centers are located. Objective B is the stress testing and C the field testing. And these are the 2 biodomes with a jungle terrain and a fake sky. The stress testing area at B has a few buildings around the center and is kept in this summer evening sky and light, which provides a nice atmosphere but also a good visibility. And the field testing on C, on the other hand, is kept a lot darker and more night-like and has wooden barricades and walls in the middle. Both biodomes provide a lot of ways for flanks, loads of spots to hide and cover to break lines of sight and evade enemy gunfire, and it actually reminds me a bit on Titanfall mixed with Argonne Forest. Some of the structures are also destructible, so the amount of cover will get smaller during the course of a match, and in this part of the map you can also find these cardboard targets that we've seen in the trailer, and these can really give you jump scare moments if you're not prepared for them. In the first match I played, I frequently shot at them, assuming they were enemies hiding in a dark corner, but it doesn't take too long to get used to them and to learn their locations, and then it's actually a nice feature that adds to the test center feeling. At Sector D, you can then find the Boreas laboratory, and this part is kept a bit brighter than the rest of the map, and here's where the entrance part to the facility is located alongside several server and conference rooms and a big laboratory with an array of cylinders that contain robotic arms and other body parts. All of these areas of the map are connected with tunnels and hallways, and there are loads of ways to go and to flank. There are choke points though, where you can spend some time fighting or that you can defend or try to push through with a lot of smoke, but if that's not your playstyle, you can use other paths. In general, the map is very well balanced and has a good flow, and even though it can be grindy at some spots, it also has enough options to move between flags undetected. There are these red tunnels, for example, that connect all areas and lead you along the edges of the map, and these are your best choice for sneaky flanks or when choke points are too crowded. But you can also use them as your main path. It's completely up to you. In addition, there is a little bit of verticality on the map, but far less than on others. And these higher grounds are easily reached with staircases or ziplines. And on Conquest, this all worked pretty well and every part of the map was accessible, but the layout for Team Deathmatch didn't really have the same flow. It was more focused on the stress testing center with the buildings and a bit of the area of the field testing, and I felt like it was a little bit too big. I could run around for minutes without finding anyone and then suddenly ran into the whole enemy team. So Conquest definitely played best here. Like I had already said in yesterday's video, the map is completely on the ground and there is no outside part at all, and only the test centers with their jungle environment and the fake sky give some outdoor feeling. But this complete indoor nature of the map also comes with some changes in gameplay. So first of all, there are no vehicles available, of course, which also means you cannot call in a ranger drone and you can't use Angel's supply drop. So you have to rely on crates and the new throwable pouches for resupplies, which also means that explosives can't be refilled quickly all at once. But then again, this also results in a lower grenade spam, and if a few players use Irish and place their shootdown sentinels at choke points, it's easily controllable. What the map has revealed though is that smoke grenades should probably be excluded from the list of the APS, cause it's really annoying when you try to push and your smoke grenade is simply removed. In addition to this, the 12mm auto shotgun might become an issue on the map cause it feels even stronger than it already is. But feedback to this was given during the playtest and the devs said they will monitor it and act if necessary. But besides this, the map is the perfect playground when you prefer infantry combat, and it's probably the best map of 2042 so far. It looks fantastic, has a great atmosphere and setting, plays really well, is pretty easy to learn and get into, it has a good amount of cover and flanking options, not as much verticality as most other maps in the game, it's not too dark and the visibility is surprisingly good, and the general map design is great and there are a lot of nice details to discover. The two available factions are still the USA and Russia, and our specialists can also be played on both sides as usual. So the cyborg soldiers can be encountered in both teams and can fight against each other. But I think that was enough for the map so far. Now let's have a bit closer look at the three new weapons. I tried to play all of them and record some footage, but at the end I sticked to the new assault rifle, the VHX D3, most of the time, simply because it feels like it was made for this map. I had the tactical compensator and a laser sight equipped, and with the setup it was amazing on close to mid-range combat, had a good accuracy and a recoil pattern that was easy to control. When I would have to compare it to one of the existing assault rifles, I would say it's pretty close to the AM40, but it also has a lot of versatility, because when changing the attachments to the extended barrel and one of the grips, it plays more like a long-range AR, and there is a noticeable difference in its handling. It's surely a rifle we will see a lot on the battlefield in the next few weeks, and it might even turn out as the best hybrid between AR and SMG. The new marksman rifle, on the other hand, the G428, is made for more mid and long-range encounters, so it was a bit more difficult to play on the new map. It has a good 2-hit kill range, similar to most other marksman rifles, feels like the SVD when it comes to recoil and handling, but has the lowest fire rate of all DMRs. It has the benefit of an optional full auto mode, similar to the BSVM, and this helps a lot in close-range combat, but with a low rate of fire it's still hard to compete against fast-firing ARs, SMGs or shotguns. Still, I'm looking forward to play this DMR on other, more open maps, cause I think that's where it really shines. I also tried out the L9CZ, the new pistol, in a few situations, and it felt decent enough to be a last resort, but definitely not comparable to the strength and handling of a G57. It's okay, it's another sidearm that might be an alternative for some players, but considering the sheer amount of secondary weapons we already have, it's no gun that really stands out. These will also be the only weapons added with Season 6, cause right now there are no plans on bringing any more vault weapons to the game. Instead, DICE wants to focus on balancing the available ones and the base game weapons. But what we get with Season 6 are two new gadgets, throwable ammo and med pouches, and especially for me as a support player, these are quite interesting. They are limited to the support class, so you can only equip them as Falk, Angel or Irish, and you can always throw out 3 of them shortly after one another, and then they are on cooldown. They only resupply weapon ammo, similar to the pouches in former titles, and no explosive gadgets or throwables. When one of your teammates is in need of heals or ammunition, they will have a white outline and the pouch flies over to them automatically, so similar to Falk's red pistol. The only thing that looks kinda weird and unnatural is the trajectory and the speed of the pouches. If you should miss your target or no one is in need of free supplies, the pouches will simply stay on the ground, and when someone needs them, they can just walk over and pick them up. At choke points or when your team is defending, crates are still the better option in my opinion, but for mobility and to help your team push an objective, the pouches are a great alternative. And then there is the new vehicle, the Pond Hawk, but this was unfortunately not playable for us since we only played the new map and there are no vehicles. But we got some B-roll footage that I can show you and give some information to it. So the Pond Hawk is a two-person transport vehicle with no weaponry, and only the passenger can use their normal weapons. It can be called in with a tablet or selected from the spawn screen and has the same slot as the LATV, so it's a light transport. It has about the same durability as the Nightbird, and anti-armor weapons such as the Javelin or the FXM can lock onto it and destroy it with one blow. But thermal smoke is available as an upgrade and can help you to prevent these lock-ons. When it comes to its movement, it's not only floating above the ground and can indeed get to a certain altitude, but it doesn't reach the same height as a helicopter. Still, an interesting new vehicle, especially since it finally adds some more futuristic gear to the game. And as a last point, I just quickly want to show you some changes to the UI and the settings that I had spotted. So it looks like we will be able to set different music packages after the next update and select one of the themes from former seasons or of the base game. Then there will be an auto throw crates option similar to the auto throw grenades. And whenever you change something in the options, there is a dot now that shows that this is not the default setting anymore. I haven't tried to click on the dot, but it might set the respective option back to default. In your HUD during a match, you can now also see a short message when squad mates cannot spawn at you because you are in combat, and there is a new UI element when using Pike's scanner, because it adds a little yellow reticle to the face of the scanned person. Not sure if that only happens when using Pike though, but I only recognized it with her. And this was everything I have for you today. I hope you enjoyed this insight into Season 6 and its new content and features, and if you did, be sure to drop a like or a comment below and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Until then, thanks for watching and thanks to my members for the additional support. I'm the Catwoman and you are awesome.